And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and always providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate plans, business loans, so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Now, our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, but most importantly, we want to engage with you in an effort so that we can help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. Don't forget our number. Make sure you bookmark our website as well, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you on our website, consumerqb.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors there. There's a contact form. We're going to make sure we get right back to you before our head hits the pillow. It's Intelligent Talk Radio, and I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Kelly Oliver, welcome back in.
Thanks
for coming in.
Thanks. I'm very excited to be
here.
As always.
Business loan solutions.
Yes.
So helping people, I think there's a lot of misconceptions around all types of finance and lending, let alone a business type of loan.
Right, right. Well, the most common question that I get is, when is the best time to apply for a loan? And, naturally everybody thinks that the best time to apply for a loan is when you need it.
Right.
Because why would you apply for a loan any other time?
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is that people wait till they're too far down the process. So, the lending community actually rewards those people that are that are planners.
Yeah.
And so if you're planning ahead, you know that you're going to need a loan at some point in the future because you've got a big event that's happening or you want to grow and expand your business, then that's the time to start thinking about applying for the loan.
I like it.
Not until, just before you're, in a desperate situation.
Yeah, because a lot of people, too, especially even on the real estate side, which I'm more involved with, is they're waiting to the last minute. Then all of a sudden now we know it's one of the worst times in terms of identity theft. There's identity theft. They pull the credit like, wow, that's not mine. That's not mine. How did that get on there? And then all of a sudden now you're looking at 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6 months of credit improvement.
Yes.
So we'll talk about that. We've got Kelly Oliver in the house, Business Loan Solutions. If you're a business owner, you want to hear what she's going to be talking about. Connor Keller back in the house as well. Insect IQ, insectiq.com. Welcome in.
Hi, Brandon. Great to be here as usual. You know what? Let's talk about bats, rats, and other unwanted critters.
Okay.
Just in time for Halloween.
And Halloween. That's awesome. Perfect. Bats and rats.
I've been doing a ton of bat work recently. They just came back into season. They're protected all summer long because they're reproducing, making more bats for me to remove from other people's houses.
Wow.
So
keeping you in business.
Yeah, we're doing dozens of jobs right now in the field, so I'd like to talk about that today.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, all types of insect and pest control you help with. I went over to our pre-construction home I mentioned on the lake here,
yes.
And we had the gentlemen that were installing the insulation, and they said, yeah, man, we're finding all these spiders everywhere, and I pulled it up online, and they think it's a brown recluse.
Well,
yeah, so those are bad, right?
Yeah, they're horrible spiders, and we have a couple different venomous spiders. Actually, all spiders are venomous. We have a couple spiders in Florida that their mandibles are strong enough to pierce your skin and inject venom in you. Black widow, brown widow, and black widow are the two most common that I come in contact with. According to the University of Florida and the Department of Agriculture, brown recluse spiders are not native to Florida. I've never come in contact with one in 15 years of doing this. I think they show up, or people are getting bit in Florida because this is a transient state. Everybody wants to move to Florida. They're native to the Midwest, like Texas up into Chicago. So as people move from those areas, they're reclusive spiders, so they crawl into your boxes and belongings and move with you, and then someone gets bit as they're unpacking or other scenarios.
Wow. Okay. Well, Connor Keller is going to educate us on that area. Also does a lot in honeybee removal as well. Richard Alexander back in the house. Richard Alexander, Esquire.
Good afternoon, Brandon. Great to be back.
Awesome, man. Good stuff. What do you want to talk about today?
Well, actually, I just want to comment on what Connor just said. A colleague just posted on Facebook the other day that he went to the Sarasota County Courthouse.
Yeah.
And there were bats outside on the courthouse clinging to the side of the building.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You said Sarasota County Courthouse?
Yes, Sarasota County.
There you go. Yeah, good lead for you.
Yeah. Last time we spoke about DUI law. I know a little bit, got a little bit into that, and I teach a lot. And I had some students ask me last night about DUI law, and it just seems to be prevalent. You know, it has no social economic bias. Anybody can pick up a DUI. So I'm glad we got an opportunity to speak about that last time.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got attorney Richard Alexander in studio going to talk about, some of those legal areas that we like to explore here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you educate yourself around these areas and avoid a lot of, the commission-based advice, or whether it's, in a DUI situation, do you take the breathalyzer? Do you not? There's a lot of, scenarios that we're going to help you with here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And I want to give a shout out to Bilmar Beach Resort over on Treasure Island. Beautiful beach resort here, completely renovated, beautiful property. We've got 2 pools. They've got the Sloppy Joe's is the restaurant right next door on the same property. Beautiful beach. And whether you're planning a vacation, a staycation, a wedding, or a business outing, we'd love for you to check out our official hotel partner, Bilmar Beach Resort on Gulf Boulevard over in Treasure Island. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers and incentives that they are offering to all of our listeners out there. All you have to do is mention that you heard them on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And as you know, I'm the host of the show. I'm also the owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. Got a hot one here. Just did a $100,000 price reduction at 215 12th Avenue Northeast, St. Petersburg. This is the old northeast section of St. Petersburg, and 215 12th Avenue Northeast, brand new construction, SIPS panel construction, and I'm talking everything is gorgeous here. Did a great job on the finishes as well. $1.299 million listing of mine. Beautiful property here in St. Petersburg area. Great property. I got another $1 million listing on the beach. This one's 1370 Gulf Boulevard, Unit 401. 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, Bella Rosa condo, and this is an end unit, so you've got windows on the side, gorgeous views of the Gulf of Mexico, and you're right on the beach. And one of the cool things about this property is that it has very low condo association fees, which that handles all your insurances, the flood, the roof, the common area maintenance. So it's a $1.175 million listing of mine, 1370 Gulf Boulevard, Unit 401 in beautiful Tampa Bay. And we got a feel-good story of the week coming up for you. 99-year-old walks 6 miles a day to visit his wife in the hospital. Wow, pretty cool story coming up in our feel-good segment. So let's go back to Kelly Oliver here. So business loan solutions, some of the misnomers you mentioned, when should they apply? Let's get them applying early. And, it's a great time to grow a business right now.
It is
the climate's
fantastic
awesome.
Time. Yeah, I just sat in on a presentation about the economy and trends that are coming. And, we really have a very strong economy, even though people are feeling like this might be a bubble.
Yeah.
There's evidence that suggests that this is just a very strong economy, and that the time to buy a house, to build a home, is now. I like that. Yeah. Tell me more about that. I love to, kind of have that. The idea, the long term, it's like, what did they have to say, or did they mention the student loan debt, the trillions of dollars of student loan debt out there? It's there. It exists. Yep. We know that it exists, and it doesn't impact people when they're actually trying to grow their business as much as you would think. Right. Because that is, it's a consumer loan. That's true. It has an effect, but it doesn't necessarily have an impact, especially if they're handling their student loans responsibly and they're in a payback scenario. Okay. So the trends that we're looking at, we only want to try to trend out a year at a time. To be longer than that is a concern, right? Because then you're just looking at a crystal ball and hoping for the best. Too many variables to really try to predict. I mean, you can get a certain range on certain things. You can kind of predict with some, idea of where it's going to be. So what are you seeing out there in your space? So you're helping people with business loans or getting business loans. What are you seeing specifically in that space? Sure. It is about growth as far as the businesses are concerned. And when we talk about the timing of when to apply for a loan, now is the best time to apply for a loan, only because what we know is coming is that there's at least 3 to 4 more interest rate increases that will be coming. Now, none of those interest rate increases that we're talking about is going to be, exorbitant or large in scale. They'll be small, but it is with the intention to try to cool the economy just a little bit.
Yeah.
And but we know that they're coming. So the money is the cheapest today that it's going to be in the next, 5 or 10 years.
Cheap money,
and
that's for sure.
Still really cheap money. So and that's if you're a planner, right? So we talk about if you're a planner, you get the advantage of having cheaper money on when you're borrowing.
Yeah. And that's one of the most important things you can do. And David Banfield of Harvard did a 50-year study. He said the number one predictor of success is your long-time perspective.
That's right. That's absolutely true. And you can plan your steps of the way. You still be nimble as you go and be flexible as you kind of navigate your way through. But ultimately, if you got to kind of know where it is that you're going and where you're heading. And then your interest rates, right, that the interest rate is the cost of the money that you're going to borrow. So your interest rates will be the lowest if you're good at planning, and it really is not being whether you're responsible or not. It's really just if you're good at planning. Yeah,
that's awesome. All right, when we come back, more from Kelly Oliver, Business Loan Solutions, when to apply, things to consider. I like this idea of talking a little bit more. I want to talk a little bit more about that presentation you witnessed, because when I hear about the Trump tariffs and the potential trade war with China, I read some interesting in the Wall Street Journal. It was talking about how dependent the Chinese are on our soybeans. It was an amazing story. So when we come back, I want to touch on that with Kelly Oliver here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
Listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your quarterback on the team, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. The Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by Platinum MVP Realty. And giving a shout out to wholebodyfuel.com. Chef Brian Adamo and his team do a great job of developing the meal plans, and they're going to deliver these meals directly to your home or office. Think about that. No more running around through the fast food stores, looking for groceries, cleaning up the mess afterwards when you do cook groceries. Wholebodyfuel.com, conveniently delivered, organic, natural proteins delivered directly to your home or office. I love it. Every week I've got brand new food, teasing the taste buds every week. It's great. Wholebodyfuel.com. What else do you have in this world if you do not have your health? Reach out to our friends at wholebodyfuel.com and let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we'd love for you to reach out to them. A couple of hot listings here I want to let you know about. This one is in South Tampa, 3911 West Euclid Avenue. This is 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 2 half bath, and this is a gorgeous home in the Plant High School district of South Tampa, one of the most desirable areas to live in. 4,000 plus square feet, too many upgrades to mention, 10-foot ceilings throughout, $830,000. Beautiful property, just reduced. And 5506 Dallas Way out in Valrico, beautiful property, East Hillsborough County, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, River Hills Country Club, $540,000, one owner, pool home, corner lot. Gorgeous property. We'd love for you to take a look at this one. $540,000 out in Valrico. Beautiful properties here. Compliments of Platinum MVP Realty.com. All right, so Kelly, we were talking a little bit between the break, but I want to kind of relive what we talked about, because it's some of the best stuff happens between the break a lot of times. But when we're thinking about business loans and we're thinking about a global economy, how we're all so interconnected, I was kind of teasing before the segment about the Trump tariffs, the trade wars, the potential trade war looming. What's going to happen? Because years, growing up, we'd always hear about China. We get so much from China. We all knew that China has more the expensive imports. That the trade deficit was definitely there. So that was part of Trump's when he was running. He said, hey, we're going to do something about this. We're going to equal things out. And so, interesting story. It was talking about the tariffs that we were potentially imposing, but it also said, well, what we think is going to be our saving grace is going to be soybeans. They are very reliant on soybeans for feeding their pigs, for the pork, and, even eating the soybeans. Right. So, some interesting stuff when you start getting into the macro of the economy.
Exactly. In the economist that was speaking the other day and was talking about how strong our economy really is, we haven't done a lot of new construction. And so what is becoming in demand is the space for new luxury homes and because we haven't done the new construction. So what's been on the market has been on the market, and we actually are short. There's a shortage of new homes that are being built. And commercial real estate projects that are being built, like multifamily housing, certainly senior living assisted facilities.
Oh, yeah. ALFs.
That is huge as far as the deficit and the need. And certainly as the population ages, that it all really starts to become really important to us.
Sure.
So the trade deficit that we have, and just imposing those tariffs is really an opportunity for us to kind of establish where we are in the world, because it is such a global economy.
Yeah.
And when we can do that, and I know Trump has the intention to bring some of those jobs back home where they used to be, the question then is it the desirable jobs everybody wants to have?
Right.
So
not the coal mining jobs and some of those, but I guess it's always a give and take and a trade, and hopefully the knuckleheads in DC can stop fighting so much. I mean, they're so polarized now. Both sides of the aisle. It's ridiculous. I mean, you see the news now. It's just
they're missing the big picture, right? So they're because of the defending their own position and they're arguing for a side, they're missing the opportunity that's really in front of them. Is like, how do we collaborate?
Sure.
How do we make this an amazing, working together, right?
Yeah.
how can we make this an amazing picture and get the strongest economy we've ever had in the consideration that it is a global economy.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you there. So we're talking with Kelly Oliver here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Business Loan Solutions. She's helping business owners out there with all types of funding and helping them grow their business strategically and looking at, you know, the scale. So that's good news. So you're saying that, you know, because I'm hearing some whispers of, you know, we talked about the student loan debt, the trade war, you know, looming. You know, you always have some naysayers saying, oh, the real estate bubble's going to happen because they've got these non-qualified mortgages coming back out. But, you know, there's never going to be a time, you hate to say never, but in our foreseeable future, anything as crazy as it was back in 08, 07.
No. And so the difference between 08 and 07 and today is that it's the literal supply and demand conversation. So the demand is there. We're at a deficit in the demand as far as building and constructing the luxury homes that we're talking about, the high end. And, you know, then the question is do we really have the consumers that are able to consume, like, or buy
to purchase
that product? And it's strong because our economy is strong. People are doing well. Businesses are expanding.
That's right.
And so we're seeing an amazing demand for new product on the market.
And one of the bottlenecks I've been seeing, you know, personally, we're building a house over a year now. You know, but is labor. You know, labor. You know, contractors, tradesmen. You know, I think there really needs to be an emphasis. There needs to be, you know, more schools and maybe more programs offering, you know, hey, you're not going to be, you know, a doctor, a lawyer, you know, you're not going to go to a 4-year degree school. Let's get them into a trade program. You know, that way they can earn a good living. You know, and it's much needed in our economy right now.
It's true. It's really true. And, you know, that we've always talked about the millennials as well, is that they're not really wanting to be consumers, right? They don't want to buy the houses. They don't want to conform to what normal standards have been. And really there has been a huge upsurge in millennials that are purchasing homes and multifamily housing and condos because they're turning them into businesses. Like, they are actually seeing an opportunity of how they can be their own business owner, and then step into, like, owning real estate as their platform to own their business.
Yeah, so they're owning rental properties, but they're still renting themselves. A lot of them, maybe.
Well, but they're now deciding to purchase too, right? They're getting into you know, they do want to have a family, they do want to get married, they do want to have a home. You know,
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, reach out to Kelly Oliver, Business Loan Solutions. You saw our website as well up there, so reach out. She's going to help you with growing your business, obtaining loan financing. You know, and she's one of the best in the area, and she's been doing it a long time. Can definitely help you with that. All right, we're transitioning now over to Connor Keller, Insect IQ, insectiq.com, and bats and rats. You know, it's that time of year, right?
It is, and I thought this would be a good topic for September as everybody prepares for Halloween next month. So
man.
And really, I mean, you know, we're doing bat work for institutions, for school districts, for residential $1 million homes to, you know, your $80,000 duplex, you know, in whatever part of town. So they do not discriminate, and, you know, they're seeking shelter like all living things, somewhere that there's a good abundant food source, there's water, and our homes are perfect for that. And it's usually they'll exploit a construction flaw, like a open gable, a broken soffit, you know, something that they can get in. They only need a small gap to get in. Generally, a bat's about the size of your fist, and we have a dozen or so species of bats in Florida. One bat particularly, the Brazilian free-tail bat, has adapted to live in and around human structures. They produce a huge odor, so generally that's what you smell first, and you hear them. They're active at night. They're nocturnal creatures, so they come out at night to feed, and they generally sleep during the day, but you'll hear the odor, you'll see guano. These are all signs. A lot of people call bats rats with wings, but they're really not. They're unique animals. They eat mosquitoes and other flying insects, so they're a beneficial animal. You just don't want them in your home or in your business.
Do you relocate them? Is that what you do with them, or?
So they're federally protected, being a beneficial animal. And like I mentioned earlier in the opening, June to August, you can't do anything to them. So if they're in your house, even if they're coming into your garage or your kitchen, you really can't do anything at all. They're federally protected because they're reproducing or mating during that time. So after about August 15th, and that's why we're so busy, a lot of that's just backlogged all summer long, we're now going out and doing bat abatements. So the first step is to do a comprehensive inspection of the home and property, identify where the bats are, what's going on, what's brought them to the property, what's keeping them there, and that's all part of the solution. So once we do that, we actually install one-way doors. We call them check valves over the openings that the bats are coming and going from.
Okay.
And taking advantage of their biology and behavior, they fly out at night to feed, and then they're not able to get back into that one-way door in the morning. So the second step is to go to all other areas on the house and identify any other area, and that's where a professional comes in and our experience and expertise. But we go ahead and seal everything up so they don't just move over to the next spot.
Okay. Yeah, good stuff. So you're helping all the Tampa Bay area with pest control, honeybee removal, rodents, rats, bats, all the above. More from Connor Keller when we come back. InsectIQ.com is his website, InsectIQ.com. Our feel-good story of the week is a good one. We've got a 99-year-old walks 6 miles a day to visit his wife in the hospital. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online, Facebook.com, Consumer Quarterback Show, and at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter. We'll see you next time. Stay with us.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
Hi, my name is Joe Stalteri. I'm one of the owners of Complete Care Systems. At Complete Care Systems, we do carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, tile and grout cleaning, tile and grout sealing, wood floor and laminate floor deep cleaning, as well as stripping and waxing of linoleum and vinyl floors, and a whole lot more. We also run daily deals and special, which you can find at CompleteCareSystems.com, or simply call Tricia up at 727-364-5158, and she'll answer all your questions and give you over the phone free estimates. Or she'll send me out to your home or office to give you an on-site free estimate. At Complete Care Systems, we don't cut corners, we clean them.
Listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by Platinum MVP Realty. helping you win in any marketplace. That's our goal. I want to give a shout out to Replenish IV Solutions in South Tampa. Say hello to Steve and Lisa Gunnan over at Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance. And these, what we're talking about here, are vitamin infused IVs that go directly into your bloodstream, directly into your organs. And they've got anti-aging, health and wellness, performance, fatigue fighter, weight loss, all types of different vitamin mixtures, rather, amino acids and extras. You've got all kinds of cool stuff. Every time I go on a trip, a long trip, a flight, I'm going to visit Steve and Lisa down on Gandy Boulevard in South Tampa. Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers and incentives. And in studio today, we've got Connor Keller here, insectiq.com. We're talking about ways that you can protect your assets. There's a lot to go along with, what he offers: honeybee removal, bats and rodents, all types of different creatures. So let's talk about that what we were just mentioning kind of between the break. We were talking about pre-construction,
Right.
Pre-construction properties. Once they go from the concrete slab, now you got your framing up, you got your roof on, you still have access to the home. It's leaving you more vulnerable to have termites come in, spiders, all types of different things can come in there and kind of make a home, right?
You can, and different builders, I think, take different courses of action as far as drawing the home in and when they put the windows and doors on. I've seen the windows and doors go on last, so it depends, again, on the builder. I think that's probably one of the first things that should go on once the roof is on to secure the construction site.
Right.
And that's probably up to the general contractor, like we were discussing. But if this is left open, even during that time in the construction when the walls and the roof are on, but the windows and doors are not, really it's open season. Anything can come inside. Anything from mosquitoes. The house is being built on a lake, so
Yeah.
I'm sure there's all sorts of flying insects. Spiders are there because other insects are there and they're feeding. And spiders are another beneficial insect. It doesn't mean that you want them in your house crawling around. I could tell some funny stories about spiders and freaking out, and my wife, and even at work. So yeah, crawling under houses and crawl spaces in the dark, and big tarantula-looking spiders crawling across your face. It could go on all day, just in time for Halloween. So, but yeah, the important thing is whether it's new construction, post-construction, there's steps you can take as a homeowner. Just looking at your property regularly, making sure the trees and shrubs are trimmed back from the house, the gutters are clean, the weather stripping around the doors are in good shape. Those are steps you can take to prevent pests from coming inside. The biggest thing I could recommend, of course, is hiring a professional to do preventative treatments to your house, whether it's for pest prevention. We have a rodent abatement program, especially those homes in South Tampa. You have these $500,000, $1 million homes, and I get calls that rodents are running across the fence. You're having a dinner party on a Friday night, and the rats come to the party, so can't have that.
Yeah.
And that's easily preventable with proper care and a good program that not only will take care of the rats, but it's also responsible with the rodenticides and takes care of the environment. I did want to go back and touch on a few more things about bats when I have a minute or two. We were talking about the exclusion and the steps that you take, and obviously there's a whole process. It's really not something as a homeowner you want to just try to tackle on your own. Bats carry diseases too. They're wild animals like a raccoon or even coyotes. I've seen a lot of coyotes recently, and they'll bite you. You try to handle them. They do carry rabies. But what you really have to be concerned about is their guano, and people tend to let things go out of sight, out of mind. And if that goes on in confined spaces for an extended period, that guano builds up and moisture gets in there and mold grows, and there's a mold spore that's produced that can cause histoplasmosis. And you literally get a fungus in your lungs, and it's not a good thing at all. So it's not something you want to let go to the wayside. They damage your home. The population continues to grow as they're reproducing. So as that area they're in fills up with bats, they're going to look for another void or area on your house, maybe a tree in the yard. So just like anything, you want to take care. If you find bats in your home, you want to take care of them right away.
Yeah,
that's my point.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned coyotes. So you're seeing those in the Bay Area?
I've seen them in my own house. I live out in Brandon in East Hillsborough County, and I get up early around 4:30 in the morning and go outside, and I've seen them probably a half dozen times this year. One up to 3 or 4. They're killing cats in the neighborhood. We were contracted a couple years ago to trap coyotes in Curtis Hickson Park in downtown Tampa. So they're here. They're scavenging for whether it's your cat or bunny rabbit or whatever.
They get in trash too, probably.
Yeah, so they're more scavenging small animals. So we also I trap red and gray foxes inside the city limits. So Florida is a subtropical environment. These animals were here before we came here. We cut down the trees and build houses and build our businesses. So you're going to come in contact with these things, and the best advice I could give you is to give them their space. And if they become a nuisance, then you can call Insect IQ. We'll come out safely and humanely, trap and remove that animal. We do relocate those types of animals unless they're diseased or hurt. They have rabies, then we euthanize them, take them to the appropriate authorities if necessary.
Yeah. We're talking with Connor Keller here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, and insectiq.com is his website. Now, Connor, in the past we spoke about honeybees. I think we should talk a little bit about honeybees because some people have misconceptions. They kill them. And there's also some false reporting, I believe, done on the lack of honeybees and the threat to the food source. But I wanted to have you talk a little about honeybees as well.
So I'm a beekeeper. I'm a Florida registered beekeeper. I have been for some years now. I mainly work with wild or feral bees, bees that become a nuisance to the public. Becomes a public safety issue. So bees that either nest in your house and maybe the attic or soffit, maybe a tree in the front yard. I've seen them in mailboxes before. The big problem in Florida is we've had Africanized honeybees since 2001. And they're widespread throughout the state since 2005. And really that wild DNA is crossed, so you have a hybrid bee now. So you can have honeybees and you think, oh, this is a great thing. I have honeybees in a tree, and you're out there looking at it, and a car drives by with loud music, and they all react. The whole hive comes out and attacks you and stings you. And 500 stings from honeybees or any stinging insects is equal to a rattlesnake bite. So actually the same venom, just in a much higher dose. And keep in mind, it only takes one sting if you're allergic to kill you. So just like any wild animal or insect, it's really not something you want to get close to and check out. You want to give it its space and seek professional help. But as far as honeybees, so we relocate everything we can, being responsible, and we love honeybees. But if they are diseased, if they have parasites, if they're aggressive at all, we destroy that colony to protect the good honeybees. The other thing worth pointing out, when we talk about bee health and bee population, when they do bee health census, and you hear this reporting on the news, they're strictly talking about managed bees in someone's apiary or on their farm. So they're not even counting the bees that I deal with, the wild or feral bees that are out.
Interesting. Okay.
But the data, the reports I've seen is that our bee populations in Florida have actually increased over the last decade. We went through that colony collapse back in 2004, 2005. Since then, every year we're seeing huge increases in bee populations. And just like everything else in nature, their populations are going to ebb and flow. I personally believe it's cyclical. Things happen. And the research I've seen about colony collapse, this is also worth pointing out, is a lot of the cause of that was the beekeepers themselves trying to control disease and parasites in the colonies. So it's kind of like chemotherapy to kill cancer. I've heard people say that the chemo is trying to kill the cancer, or you try to kill the cancer before the chemo kills you. So it's the same thought with the varroa mites and small hive beetles in those hives.
Yeah.
So it's a big problem. The other thing, honeybees are an invasive species to North America. We brought them here from Europe in the Middle Ages when we immigrated. So prior to white Europeans settling in North America, Native Americans they had agriculture, they grew crops, and they had things that pollinated those crops, things like butterflies, hummingbirds, dragonflies. There's actually 124 different pollinators in Florida.
Wow.
So honeybees are not our main pollinators, my point.
Yeah. Well, Connor Keller, insectiq.com, a plethora of information about pest control, honeybees, and bats and rats and all the different types of spiders. So reach out to him for anything in that space. Connor Keller, a longtime friend of the program here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, let's bring attorney Richard A. Alexander into the conversation. Man. Yes, sir.
I was going to say, I learned a lot just from listening to Kelly and Connor.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, good stuff. So so tell us a little bit more about your business and what you're doing out there, Richard.
Well, I've been an attorney for 20 years. I've been a professor for 18 years. And honestly, if I could do that full time, I certainly would. It fulfills a part of me that practice of law does not.
That's cool.
And I've loved doing that. And like I said, I just wish I could do it full time.
Yeah.
I taught a class last night, and just an incredible high. But I've been practicing law 20 years.
That's awesome. So being an educator is part of your repertoire, and so what do you think it is that you get out? Just the fact that you're affecting young minds and you're kind of leading them through their journey.
For me, I think it's a lot like an actor or a comedian feels when they're on stage.
Yep.
The response is immediate.
Right.
So it's an instant gratification.
Okay.
So you know exactly when the light bulb is going off, or you know if you're making a connection because they'll ask a question or feed on what you just said.
Interesting. Okay. Good stuff. All right, stay with us when we come back. More from attorney Richard A. Alexander, and he's talking about DUI law, trials, and other ways that he can help anyone out there in our listening audience, and maybe you're a viewer of our TV show on WeBeam TV. But stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We'll be right back after this short break, and we also have our feel-good story of the day. 99-year-old walks 6 miles a day to visit his wife in the hospital. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
Listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, published author, professional speaker. Check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves, kind of the prequel to the Business Growth Celebrity Academy, our business we launched with Ken Shamrock, Hall of Famer, UFC Hall of Famer, WWF legend as well, Des Woodruff on that company as well. So real excited about that. Top agent here in Tampa Bay, top 1% of all agents nationwide, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. I've got a hot property in Largo here, 12091 145th Street in Largo. This property is 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. The seller just added some extra square footage by bringing in extra air conditioning. Close to Indian Rocks Beach, there's a marina, Krabby Bills, nature park. And the best part about this property is right over the bridge, you're on the beaches, and you're not paying the flood zone that you have to require, the flood insurance that's required for being in that zone. So 145th Street in Largo, beautiful property, and a great property in South Tampa, 103 South Havana Avenue, 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, $565,000. Perfect Airbnb rental here at 103 South Havana Avenue, and beautiful Tampa Bay. Hot property listing, Platinum, MVPRealty.com. All right, so we got our feel-good story of the day. Every day we're telling you something positive here, so we have our Tell Me Something Good segment here.
Tell me something good.
So the 99-year-old walks 6 miles a day to visit his wife in the hospital. Luther Younger is determined to see his wife in the hospital every day despite not having a car. So the 99-year-old from Rochester, New York, walks 6 miles a day in the blistering summer heat. Luther has been married to his wife for 55 years. I want to see my wife, he says. I love my wife. She's made a man out of me. She's made me more than I ever could be. In 2009, Luther's wife, Waverly, was diagnosed with brain tumor. She's been in the hospital ever since. Luther is determined to see her every day. He said some people often offer him rides, but he declines. He'd like to walk because it clears his mind. He says that he's always done hard labor for work. Luther is also a former Marine who fought in the Korean War. He prides himself on having this physical strength, but his daily walk isn't proving how strong he is. It's about proving his love to his Waverly. All right, so good stuff. Good story there. Dedication, right? All right, so let's go back to attorney Richard A. Alexander here in studio. So you had mentioned you want to talk about DUIs. What are you seeing in that space out there?
Well, we talked last time about if you thought there was some sort of downturn in DUI law with Uber.
Right.
The birth
I was
of
wondering.
Uber and Lyft, and I have not seen that decline.
Yeah.
And I think, we last talked about that. One of the reasons is that the immediacy of having your car keys,
right,
and the power that automobiles give us,
yep,
the freedom, the individualism, and I think people are saying, well, I'm fine. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm not even buzzed. I'll be, I'll make it home.
Yeah, that's what they'll say, and then next thing you know, they got the red lights or the blue lights in their mirror.
Right.
And all of a sudden now they're scared.
I always call DUI there, but for the grace of God go I, offense. Cause,
yeah.
We've probably all been there where we just probably weren't in the base shape to drive, but we made it home.
You're close. Yeah, sometimes you're close, and did you eat a meal? That's the whole thing. I think too many times, people don't eat enough food to offset. And then, then they just think, oh, well, I only had 2 or 3, but 2 or 3 on an empty stomach for if you weigh 120 pounds, 140 pounds, that's where it comes into, getting yourself in trouble.
Yeah, eating is a big part of it because there's 2 things that have to do with, DUI cases. That's absorption versus elimination. And those are the 2 things you have to keep constant when you're talking about DUI type cases.
Yeah, absolutely. And the judges, when you're in front of a judge, I mean, you represent, people in these cases. The judges they're not playing games in there. They're pretty tough about this.
No, it's very serious in the Tampa Bay area. Florida has an insane problem with DUI cases, no matter what county it is.
Yeah,
it's a real issue, and it's not so much just the DUI itself.
Right.
Certainly, the sentencing on DUI law is all mandatory.
Wow.
That means there's no discretion
afforded
by the judge or the prosecutor.
Wow.
So even though a first-time DUI is a misdemeanor, it's not going to feel like that by the time it's all said and done.
Right. It's going to hit your pocketbook, your wallet, your relationships, your business. You could get fired over this.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. I mean, I've had employers, bosses actually hire me because they have such value for the employee, and I've also had situations in which people get fired just on the arrest.
Yeah.
So much for innocent until proven guilty, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And speaking of that, do you take the breathalyzer? Do you not? Right. So when you sign your agreement to have a driver's license, you're signing away, not away a right, but you're signing saying that you do consent. You're going to consent to a DUI test, right?
Yeah, that's one of the things that blows people's minds out of the water. They have no idea that they have signed on the driver's license that if asked to take a sobriety test as required by law, they will do so. Yeah. And it's right below your signature. So if you were to look at your Florida driver's license, right below your signature, it actually says that operation of motor vehicle, you have consented to any field sobriety as required by law.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't know that. And when you refuse to provide a breath sample, your license gets suspended automatically 1 year.
Wow.
Even if the DUI case gets dismissed.
Wow.
Which is purely administrative. That's between you and the Department of Motor Vehicles.
That's it, man. That's a tough one, because then you can get a work permit, but then it's really putting a hamper on your life for most people, unless you live downtown in areas where walkability is there.
And that's if you're eligible for a permit.
Wow. Yeah, you got to be eligible for proving that.
Correct.
So, what other trial type stuff are you doing out there? How are you helping the consumers?
Well, I think a lot of the thing I do is, this may seem not, but I literally take phone calls all day, every day about people that just say, hey, I just have a question. Can I just ask you?
Yeah.
And I say, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's an honor and a privilege to be an attorney.
Yep.
I know the hard work I went through. I know my colleagues as well. And when somebody calls, I will gladly give them, 15, 20 minutes if they need that over the phone.
Yeah.
Because you know what preventive medicine is, yes?
Right.
Okay, you go to the doctor so you don't have to go to the doctor.
Right.
I look at it the same way with preventive law. You ask the lawyer so you don't have to go to a lawyer.
Good metaphor. Yeah. So what kind of questions are you fielding on a daily basis?
A lot of them are more civil than anything else. Hey, can I sue somebody? I think I have mold in my apartment.
Yeah.
The landlord is not fixing, the air conditioning. Can I sue him for that? Can I just break my lease? A lot of questions are mostly civil in nature because people just want to know, hey, what can I do about this?
Landlord, tenant, I imagine there's a lot there. Oh, he didn't fix this. I'm going to not pay my rent. Well, that's
Correct.
The wrong thing to do. Now he can evict you. So then, you end up spending money. But to go back to that previous question, you're looking at, you have to prove damages. If you're going to sue somebody, right, you have to have damages.
You always must prove damages.
Yeah.
Although you don't have a case, basically. Right. There are some type of cases there, like defamation, for instance, where you can have damages per se, but no, at the end of the day, you're going to have to show how has this affected your pocketbook.
What about internet? I just see so many times, people going online and leaving reviews, maybe a false review for somebody on Google, and that hurts. That's almost like getting punched in the face. Nowadays when you have a business and you got, people that are going online, people can write whatever they want. And it's going to bring down your Google rating. If you're a realtor, your Zillow rating is going to go from 4.5 stars to whatever however many you have. There's an equation there, right? But is there action for a business owner there if someone's leaving a review that's not true?
You can if it's factual, and that did not happen. I mean, you can always post an opinion. I didn't like the seafood. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But if you can put a review online that is factual, and then it's just a complete lie, yes, you may have a defamation case.
Yeah, it's. I'll talk to you off air about one that, that it's just ridiculous. The buyer goes and approaches a seller in the evening. After we're already negotiating, the seller's had a couple of glasses of wine, and then all of a sudden I'm the bad guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't do that. That's kind of outside of the rules of working with the buyer agent and the seller agent and approaching the seller. After he's had his evening wine.
Yeah, if you're going to post a review online, there's certain words you need to be very cautious about, like the word like liar or thief.
Right.
Those are factual-based words, and you better be very careful if you put something like that online.
You got to prove that. We're talking with attorney Richard A. Alexander here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, one of our legal contributors. Some good stuff there. Good general knowledge, general advice. Because it is an internet-based world we live in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is. So you're doing DUI defense, helping with that side of the thing.
Criminal defense.
Defense.
The firm I'm associated with, we do a lot of personal injury cases, but generally with personal injury cases, the lawyers kind of stay out of that in the beginning, at least for the year and a half, because the client is treating that entire time.
Okay.
At least you hope they are.
Yes. Yeah. Doing the right things.
Correct.
Because everything's a process, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So especially with personal injury, because people are genuinely hurt, and they want to be treated, obviously, and that's a long process because that's where the medical professionals get on board.
Right.
I never tell a doctor how to treat a patient. That's none of my business. And that's between the doctor and the patient. And so we let that process, and usually it takes months, sometimes years.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, that's good stuff. Attorney Richard A. Alexander, our legal analyst here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I want to thank all of our expert contributors. Kelly Oliver, Business Loan Solutions, helping you secure financing for your business, grow your business. Great time to do that. Connor Keller, I enjoyed our conversation as well, talking about rodent removal, honeybees, Pest Control, InsectIQ.com, and attorney Richard Alexander as well. Great lineup today for you, helping you win. You know, again, this show is your consumer advocate-based program, helping you understand more about these different areas in business and finance. So we're going to help you with that. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, hand it to that person that you see in need. Be a force for good in the community. Go out there and volunteer and do something kind for one another, and continue to tune into our show here. We'd love for you to follow us online on social at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer or financial advice. Let Brandon call your next play. 7372. That's 813-670-7372. QB.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show. AM 1380, The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 102.5 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.